How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Travis Flaherty. I empower online marketers all over the world with the skills and the education and mentorship to grow a successful online business. So if you are seeing this out there, I would love it and appreciate it if you would smash the like button and follow me if you don't follow and you get some value out of today's session. And leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Would love to know who's watching, who's tuning in, where you're tuning in from around the world. So, today I want to talk a little bit about online marketers and network marketers. And I want to talk a little bit about why online marketers struggle or most network marketers fail at the process. And so we're going to dive into that today. And we're also going to talk a little bit about some things that you can do to be able to avoid the pitfalls and trial and error that a lot of people go through in this industry. And I'm also going to share with you one thing that I'm doing to change the entire paradigm. So stick with me because I'm going to be sharing that at the end. And it may give you some ideas as a marketer as well. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in today. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. We are going to be talking about today the top reasons. I'm going to give you 3 reasons today. There's a lot of different reasons, but I'm going to give you 3 reasons today why network marketers fail at the process. And the first one comes down to just a lack of belief, right? A lack of belief, whether it's a limiting belief in themselves. How many times, I can't even imagine how many times that I've heard over the years, I'm just not cut out for sales. I'm just not cut out for those type of things. I could never see myself being successful in that environment, right? One thing that we have to understand as marketers is no matter how good your opportunity is, no matter how good, your company is, your compensation plan is, you could say, I've got the best company in the world. But the reality is when prospects are listening to whatever it is that you have to offer, they're not just evaluating the company, the products, or the services that you offer. They're evaluating whether they could see themselves being successful in this environment. And for many, they have been raised with limiting beliefs for whatever reason. Maybe it was something that they were told when they were little. Maybe it was some situation or circumstance or experience that they had where it made them feel very, very uncomfortable when they had to try and persuade someone or sell someone something. But somewhere along the way, they may have just developed the belief that they're not good. They're not good at this. And the interesting thing about this, just as a side note for a moment, is a really interesting conversation. Excuse me. Because a lot of the people that have shared with me, these limiting beliefs that they're not good at sales, they're not good at, these type of things. When I follow them and when I watch them, they're really, really good about being persuasive in other areas, right? It might just be, politics, for example, something that they're passionate about. So they're continually persuading people that, the way that they see the world, the way they view the world is the right way, or, this is why you should, come around to this side or that side. So they're really persuasive when it comes to something like that. Or they might be persuasive about, sharing their favorite Netflix series or whatever their favorite movie might be, or whatever, sports team that they might follow, right? We get very passionate about our sports teams. We've seen that all over the place, right? We're very passionate about sharing our opinions. Everybody right now has an opinion about Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce. Doesn't matter what side you're on, whether you're tired of seeing them, whether you think the relationship is real, whether Taylor Swift should be, they should cut to her when it comes to the, in the middle of the game or not. Everybody has an opinion about it. Everybody's going out and sharing their opinions, and nobody has any issues with that, right? But for whatever reason, sorry, I'm choking on something. For whatever reason, when it comes to sharing something that you believe in, something that you like, or something that you might enjoy, or something that you might be benefiting from, which is essentially what online marketers do, right? People get just so inside of their heads, right? They get so caught up on this idea of selling. And here's the reality. I don't look at what I do as sales. Yes, there is an exchange of money for services or products or, mentorship or whatever it may be. So some might say, at the end of the day, you're selling. But here's the thing. I prefer the word empowering. I empower people around the world with the skills, with the knowledge, with the education, with the opportunities to be able to transform their life, to be able to go from wherever it is that they want to go in life to wherever it is they are, to wherever it is they want to go in life, right? At the end of the day, I don't close anybody. Salespeople close people. I open doors. I open doors and I give people additional options in their life, and it's up to them to choose whether or not they want to participate. So I think that sometimes if we just reframed that a little bit, I think a lot of people could get over those limiting beliefs that I'm just not good at this. Here's another thing that you need to keep in mind. You know, that if you applied 100 hours of deliberate, intentional practice or activity, focus, right? Doing the right actions, taking the right steps and doing it the proper way, 100 hours of practice of anything, it doesn't matter what skill it is, 100 hours, and you would be better than approximately 95% of the other people that are out there that do that same thing. 100 hours. You realize that that's about 16, 17 minutes a day over the course of a year. You do that for just a period of a year. You apply 100 hours of whatever it may be, you know, contacting and inviting, following up, giving presentations, whatever the things are that you think that you are not good at. I promise you that if you do that consistently over a period of a year, you apply approximately 100 hours of focused, deliberate, intentional, on purpose practice, you're going to be better than the majority of the people that are out there. So it's not that you're not good at something, right? It's that you just haven't learned the skills. You haven't developed the skills to be successful in that particular environment. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Online marketing is a skill set. It is absolutely a skill set. So most people that think, oh, I would never be good at something like that, it's because of a limiting belief in themselves. And here's another one when we talk about belief, a limiting belief in the industry as a whole. Now, largely, we're responsible for that. Us as networkers, we're responsible for the perception that a lot of people have about our industry. Why? Because people start and stop. They start, they quit. They're never consistent for long enough to be able to achieve their goals and dreams, right? And so most people think, oh, those things don't work, right? Or a lot of times people join the business. They join the business and they give it a little, you know, they give it a minimal effort at best. Right? Minimal effort at best. They do, you know, a few things here and there. They don't get instant results. They ultimately end up quitting. And then what happens? Now they chalk it up to either A, I'm not good at those things, right? Limiting belief. Or B, they chalk it up to those things don't work. And the reality is in most cases, it's not that those things don't work. It's that you didn't work. And if you did work, you weren't applying the right actions and activities to be able to get the results that you're looking for, which comes back to skill set, right? So the number one reason, one of the, maybe not in this order, these are in no particular order, but one of the top reasons that people fail at network marketing, fail to even try or even to attempt in some cases, but they fail is simply because of a lack of belief, right? Because here's the thing, when we believe, we ultimately, like I'm in a place in my life where I feel like I'm doing people a disservice if I don't tell them about what it is that I'm working on. If I don't at least give them an option to, I mean, I don't cram it down anybody's throat. I never make people feel uncomfortable or, you know, it's not like every time I have a conversation with somebody, I'm trying to, you know, convince them. I'm not in the convincing business or sell them anything or try and get them to come and join my business, but I make sure that people know what it is that I do, right? At the end of the day, I feel like I'm doing people a disservice because I understand the power and the potential that comes along with network marketing. Why? Because it's the best personal development platform in the world. You want to change your life? Start with personal development and personal growth, right? It always starts within. Network marketing is a personal development platform with a compensation plan attached to it. You know, there's no better personal development platform, environment, community than in the network marketing industry. And if you want to transform your life, the best place to do it would be inside of the network marketing industry where you're surrounded by other people that encourage and dream and uplift and inspire you to do more and to be more, right? There's so many settlers out there in life. There's so many people that have settled for maxed out credit cards and broken dreams as a norm, and they think that it's okay. They think that that's normal, and the truth is it's not. You're entitled to be able to live a life of abundance, to be able to have all the things that you want in life. Most people have given up on their dreams, but not you. And so I love the network marketing profession simply for the fact that you are surrounded by a community of inspirers and uplifters and encouragers. And so, you know, for me, I think that is you know, one of the best. I believe that people need that in their life. They need more inspiration. They need to be motivated or inspired to be able to dream bigger and to be able to think bigger, right? So that's one reason. Number two, I know that everybody, I guarantee you, how many of you, just drop an I in the comments section below if you know somebody that's going to go to bed tonight saying a prayer asking for financial solutions, right? I mean, we're all starting out 2024, $11,400 in the hole. Did you know that? $11,400 in the hole. Why do I say that? Because if you compare the quality of life from 2021 to 2024 with the rising cost of everything across the board, including inflation. Thanks, Howard. How are you, brother? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Do you realize that just with the rising cost of inflation, that we are all starting off at a deficit this year? So you got three choices, right? You can either give up the latte, we can cut back, don't take that vacation this year to be able to keep up, right? Because I promise you that employers aren't out there going, hey, I know that you're starting off a lot more in the hole this year, so I'm going to give you an $11,400 raise. That's not happening. So the reality is you can give up your latte, or you can keep living the same quality of life you lived in 2021, but you just start pulling out the credit card a little bit more, start getting in a little bit of deeper debt. And that's what most people are doing right now, by the way. Consumer debt is through the roof. So people are still living the same quality of life they did in 2021. They're just now going into debt, and that eventually catches up. We become enslaved to that debt, and then it leads to bigger challenges and bigger problems, right? So that's number two. Or number three, you can figure out how to pay for it. I believe that there's no better way, no better vehicle out there than network marketing, online marketing, digital marketing to be able to go and make up that deficit. Genuinely believe that. I believe that everybody, I'm a big subscriber to the philosophy that Jim Rohn used to teach. You go to work full-time to pay the bills, and your part-time or spare time work on building your fortune. If you are not working on something right now that allows you to be able to build your future and your dreams, then I think you're missing out on one of the greatest opportunities in the world right now to be able to take control of your financial future. There's never been a better time to start a business, especially an online business, than right now. Do you realize that the economy of the internet grew 7 times faster in the last 4 years than the U.S. economy? Never been a better time. So again, but what keeps people from getting started and going down that path is that limiting belief. So again, I feel like I'm doing a disservice if I don't at least notify people of what I'm up to and offer the solutions for them to be able to develop new skills in this new world economy that we live in, right? Because if we fail to adapt and we fail to innovate, we're going to continue to see people struggling and suffering. And I can tell you that the world is shifting and the world is changing, and it does require new skill sets. So that's, first of all, number one, lack of belief. Either lack of belief in themselves, right, or lack of belief in the opportunity. Now, here's the interesting thing about belief. Ironically, if we want to build belief, it comes from taking action, right? Because when we take action, what happens? We start to develop a little bit more confidence. We start to gain a little bit more competence, right? With that, we start to gain a little bit more credibility. And as we gain these things, what happens? It ultimately leads to us having a bigger belief, which ultimately leads to taking more action, right? Isn't that interesting how everything is stemmed around taking action? You could be the worst networker in the world, worst online marketer in the world, which I promise you that you're not. You could be the worst at going live, which I promise you aren't. And yet, if you just did it consistently for 90 days, you're going to be better than the majority of the people that are out there. And you're going to have developed, because of that action, new confidence, new belief, right? You're going to be carrying yourself differently. And that's what it's all about. And ultimately, you end up finding your flow. Your flow is when people want to jump in the boats because they want to be a part of whatever it is that you are exuding and you're pushing out, right? So that's belief. That's number one. Number two, fear of what other people think, right? I could go in 1,000 different directions with fear, but ultimately fear of what other people think is people are so worried about what are people going to think if I'm promoting an opportunity. I don't want people to know that I'm in one of those things. What do you mean one of those things? First of all, you mean one of the fastest growing industries or most powerful industries in the world today? Referral marketing is done by American Express. Just sent me a message this morning that said, hey, listen, if you refer somebody to our company, we'll pay you money. Everybody participates in referral marketing. It's the way of the world. And so the reality is people have such a limiting belief or they're so worried about what people think of them. I went through this when I first got started. I've been in this industry now 20 years, but when I first got started, all my friends were going to college, they were getting degrees, right? Everybody was starting their careers, and I had sold a business and then started another business. The economy crashed, and I was in a really, really difficult position. My back was against the wall, which, by the way, is no better time to go. It's the best springboard to go and do something new and reinvent yourself. And so I had a lot of friends that were doing well in network marketing, and I saw the quality of life that they had. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go down this path. And so I did, but I at first I just kind of was like, and I had all these people that were like, well, I would use words like, yeah, I'm in an industry or my profession. And people were like, well, you're not really in an industry. It's not really a profession for what you do. And I've had people that have told me, hey man, it's awesome that you've had success, but could you imagine, what you could have accomplished if you just went to college? Yeah, you know what? I'd probably be working for somebody else, building somebody else's dream. But instead, I travel the world creating amazing life experiences with the people that I care about most. I'm home. I drove my kids to school today. My wife and I will probably do lunch today. I'll probably take a nap at some point today, and I live a life by design. But yeah, I could definitely imagine if I'd got that degree so that I went and got a corporate job for somebody else, right? It's all perspective. And at the end of the day, you can't pay your bills with other people's opinions. And when you believe, right, when you have belief, you get over that fear, because the reality is people are typically looking for a few things, right? They're usually unhappy because either A, they're not making enough money, right? So there's more month than money, right? So they run out of money and they've got a lot more month left still. They're feeling a pinch. Number two, they're not pursuing their dreams. They're not passionate. They're out of alignment. So they're not happy because they're not feeling fulfilled about the work that they're doing. Number three is they don't have enough time. They don't have enough time to be able to do what they want to do. Guess what? I offer solutions to all of those things. I offer hope. I'm a dream merchant. I offer the ability for people to be able to go and build their dream. And so for me, because I have that belief, I don't care what other people think. I really don't. At the end of the day, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I don't want to be, right? The number one way to try and fail, the number one recipe that I know of for failure is to go try to please everybody. And I am not looking for everybody. And what I do is not for everybody. But you know who I am looking for? People that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I call it high noon. They're at a point in their life where they realize that what they're doing is not working. What they're doing is not going to get them to where they want to go in life. And you know what? They're sick and tired of building somebody else's dream. They're sick and tired of being exhausted all the time, living for the weekends, living paycheck to paycheck, which, by the way, is 60% of the population. So for me, I don't care what other people think, because I'm going to go do me, and I'm going to build my dream, and I'm ultimately going to build my legacy, and I'm ultimately going to go empower a lot of people's lives around the world by sharing a positive message of inspiration, motivation. That's what I'm doing. Now, next one. This is a big one. It's the third reason. Third reason that people fail. I see this all the time, and it's bothersome to me. And I'm going to tell you what I'm doing about it. So I've watched for years and years and years, and it's only become more prevalent, more visible because of social media. So here's what happens. Networker hears about an opportunity. They get excited about the opportunity. It's launching. It's brand new. There's some sizzle to it, whatever it is. New product, latest, greatest, whatever. So they join. A friend shared the opportunity with them, and they're like, man, this sounds like a great opportunity. I want to be a part of this. So they go join, and they're not marketers, right? They've never been trained in the world of marketing. They're certainly not content creators. They don't know, most people are not content creators. They don't understand the difference between short form posts and long form posts. How to stop people from scrolling, how to be able to drive engagement, how to utilize Instagram or Reels or Stories, or all of these different sources or resources that are available. And so what happens? They join an opportunity. They might go out and they put a few posts out about it, and they don't get much engagement, right? So they do it a few more times, don't get much engagement. So now they start to hide, right? They start to think, well, maybe I'm not that good at these things. Maybe this opportunity isn't as good as I thought it was, right? Those limiting beliefs, the doubt starts to set in. So pretty soon they start to avoid the company call, the online meeting. And so now what happens? Pretty soon they turn off their auto ship, they turn off their membership, whatever it is. And then they say what? I'm just not cut out for those type of things, right? I'm just not cut out for those type of things. And that's not true. The truth is you didn't develop the skills, right? You didn't develop the skills to be able to succeed in this environment, in this world. And it's a new world. I'm going to tell you guys, some of us have been around. Howard, you've been around for a long time, like I have. It's a new world, right? Even in our profession. There are skills that you need to learn to succeed in this new world economy, this social networking, digital entrepreneurship environment that didn't apply 5 to 10 years ago. So we all had to learn those skills. I look back like at 2010, 2011, 2012 at some of my posts, and I cringe. Like, I'm just like, hey, I'm going to the store to get groceries. Hey, watching a movie with my wife tonight. Hey, I'm going to have a picnic today. Like we would update people about what we were doing. Like, remember, you guys remember? That's what it was when we first started. That's like where we all got started. And so I look back at some of the stuff that I did on social media, and I realized I was really bad. And even when I went live or did some videos that I put out there, I was terrible. Well, we didn't have lives, we did videos back then. You know, I'd pull out my old flip camera, have my kids hold it. It would take me like 30, 40 takes to get one decent 2 to 3 minute video that I didn't mess up, and I would throw it up on social media. And it wasn't that good. But you know what? Over time, you start to learn, and you emulate a lot of people along the way. You see certain people, their styles, and you think, oh, maybe I'll adopt that. And you try some of that, and you're like, ooh, that doesn't fit. That doesn't work. That's not me. I'm not being authentic. And so you kind of go through this process of trying to figure out and find your voice, and eventually you find your voice, right? You find your voice, you figure out what works, and then you start to learn the dynamics and the mechanics and the skills that allow you to be able to start succeeding in this environment. It's just like anything else. And most people haven't taken the time to develop the skills. So here's what they do. Witness protection program, that's right. I joined, but I don't want anybody to know that I joined, right? Yeah, you know, I have people that have joined my business. Like, they've paid me like $2,000 to join my business before. They're like, I'm in, I'm ready to go, I'm excited, I'm all in, and they joined, and I never heard from them again. Like, I think they might have paid me just to go away. I'm not sure, but that's happened, seriously. So anyhow, that's the third reason, but here's the thing. This is what the people do, right? So they joined that opportunity, they failed, and then they said that I'm not cut out for this. But here's what happens. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road, somebody comes along with a new opportunity. And they're like, you know, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one. So they join that new opportunity, and they go through the same process again. No engagement, not getting any results. They're out there selling and telling, trying to convince people that their products and services are so much better than everybody else's. And I'm going to let you know a little secret. You know, want to know why people, especially salespeople, don't do well at network marketing? The reason why people struggle with selling and recruiting is because they're selling and recruiting. That's why. Because that's not what we do. And those people that are out there that are trying to go down that path of selling and recruiting, which, by the way, ironically, is the thing that they don't want to do because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And so they fail instead of learning the process of just simple strategies and techniques that ultimately get people coming to you saying, hey, tell me a little bit more, right? That's a skill. That's an art form. And so because of that and those three things, people typically fail. Now, I want to be really, really clear about something. You know, somebody might say, oh, not everybody. You say most people fail at network marketing. The statistic is fairly high, but so is in every business. Most realtors, go look at the stats. 10% of the realtors are making 90% of the money. You know how many people out there that have a real estate license that don't even sell a house every year? You know, how many restaurants go out of business within the first few years? How many businesses go out of business in the first few years? Guess what? It's business. If you're not failing forward, then you're doing something wrong or you're not trying hard enough, guys. Because that is the world that we live in. You know, I've had to adjust. I've had to, adjust my sales multiple times along the way. But you know what remains is the vision, right? The vision remains. And because of that vision, I just keep going forward. Even if things happen in businesses and in life or whatever the case might be, you adjust, but the vision remains and you just keep going forward. So here's what I'm doing that's different. And maybe some of you that are leaders or marketers out there can gain something from this. And those of you that are in that vicious cycle of going from one thing to the next and failing, maybe you can benefit from this too. But I had an epiphany this year. So I had this idea of starting something called the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club, we meet Monday through Thursday. Friday, I have a coaching call that I do, aligned coaching call, so I don't meet on Fridays. But the idea was to start with a small group of people that were serious, that were committed, that were truly, interested in learning the skills to be able to go and build a 6-figure and eventually a 7-figure business online. This wasn't just any, casual mentoring group, right? We're meeting every single day. There is accountability, there's required participation, but for those people, I was going to spoon feed them the critical knowledge that they need to be successful in this arena, in this business. I've been doing this a long time. And I was going to share those strategies, techniques that I've used to be able to go and grow 7- and 8-figure businesses online. And so, but not just that, taking it to the next level, I'm also providing them with the content and the marketing strategy every single day. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. For those of you that are not content creators, that are not marketers, or have failed in the past in other network marketing opportunities, how would it make a difference in your business if you had someone who has proven success that was not only spoon feeding you the critical knowledge, the do's and don'ts of what you need to do, but literally showing up every day and educating you on a strategy that you can use every day, then providing you with the actual content that you can use, and then teaching you the steps that you take with that prospect throughout the entire process every day. And all you have to do is just change the content to be able to repurpose it so that it sounds like it's coming from you. And then we meet the next day, we evaluate, we look at how we did, right? We share any victories and success that we've had, and ultimately we go into another strategy, and then we do it all over again. I give the play, their job is to execute the play. Would that make a difference? Well, it has been making a difference because we've actually taken the group, and in a matter of 5 weeks, we're on our 5th week now, we've exploded the group. We've exploded the group. We've 4x the size of the group in a relatively short period of time. And what's happening is everybody is moving in sync. Now we're starting to create culture. And by the way, the culture doesn't come from me. The culture comes from the community, right? Because now the culture is this encouraging environment where people are speaking victory into each other's lives and sharing their wins and their victories and what's working. And all I'm doing is providing the guidance and the instruction, and more specifically, the strategies and the content. And the goal is to take a relatively small group of 10, 20 people, grow it to 40, which we've already done, grow it to 80, which we've already done, grow it to 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000. Now, this is a case study because what we're also doing is every single day, we do a recap of the day before, or that day, we do a recap video, 5 to 7 minutes. We put up the marketing strategy of the day for the group. And in a year from now, when people say, hey, by the way, how did you grow this last organization to thousands of people globally around the world? I'm going to say, well, this is exactly how I did it. Here you go. So that's what I'm doing to up my game in 2024 from a mentorship standpoint, to go out and really create an impact in my community and to empower online marketers, potentially like yourselves, to be able to up your game. So my question to you is, what are you doing to up your game, to build your belief, to get over those limiting beliefs that you might have, to overcome and conquer those fears, and ultimately to be able to develop the skills to be able to win in this environment? Those are questions that I want to leave you with today, because those questions are ultimately the reasons why most people fail at this environment. So that's all I've got for you guys today. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you being here. Once again, if you got some value out of today, smash that like button, comment if you would, and follow me if you don't follow, and we'll look forward to coming back and seeing you guys again in the very near future. Appreciate it. For those of you that are watching over on YouTube, because we're also streaming on YouTube right now, smash that like button, give us a follow if you would, drop a comment in the sections below. We'll see you guys again soon. Thank you guys so much. Let's go out and dream big, work hard, and let's go change some lives.